In this video, I'm going to show you a cool little trick that I actually wish somebody had told me earlier on in life. When you read like harmony books and books, school books or whatever that talk about chromatic harmony, they never really tell you these things. As a result, it ends up a problem-solving thing that you just kind of discover on your own. I'm taking a progression from our chromatic harmony course. The link is in the description. It's using opposite motion, outer voices, and exploiting the 5 of 4 and the augmented 6 chord, both chromatic harmony chords. I'm not going to explain chromatic harmony in this video. I have nearly 150 examples of chromatic harmony, so if you're interested in that, just check out the course. So a very useful practical application for something like this is these outside voices converging on themselves, which can produce, and I'll show you in a second, well, independent opposite motion converging lines. And like runs, for instance, I could turn this into a run sounding thing. This is the progression. I just quickly worked out a solution for 4 groups of strings. Top line, bottom line. Sounds something like that, for instance. And most people know that opposite motion outside lines tend to sound very independent. So they create those really fast lines like that sound independent, that come together like that. Outside line, outside line. Years ago, though, I asked myself the question, what happens if you reverse the lines of passages like this and put the top line on the bottom and the bottom line on the top? Well, a practical application of reversing this is you could create a unison departure line that goes away from itself and starts adding voices. Like this. Till we're at 4 voices. Different augmented 6 chord. So this is a really cool trick to know. With these opposite motion lines and chromatic harmony for that matter. You could actually reverse the lines, the top and the bottom. And so I have a new line where they all depart from the unison using the same harmonic scheme. It's just those outside voices have changed roles now. They're going the opposite direction of each other. As a little run, we now have this. And what can we do with this? We could actually create a call and response kind of situation. So both these things can answer each other. So if you've written a chromatic harmony run like this, you could actually answer it with reversing the process. And this may be over a pedal point like this or something. Let's just go back to the unison departure. For tension. Okay, but at a much higher tempo. I'm going to go ahead and work this out in a basic sketch sequence. Okay, so here we are. We're using the unison departure sequence that we could use for a tense buildup. This actually sounds kind of Tchaikovsky-ish, actually. By just knowing I could reverse my sequence that I wrote out for the chromatic harmony book that uses opposite motion, I can come up with a completely different line. We could either use it as a call response kind of thing or by itself. But this is something I wish somebody would have told me. Even in the greatest of theory books, they don't even mention this, that you can actually reverse the processes of opposite motion lines with chromatic harmony, for instance. So any opposite motion line, especially on the outside voices, that's where they're most important. The opposite motion has great potential to be reversible, giving you access to those unison departure kind of lines where everything's on a unison and they start departing the unison, filling out chords. I thought I'd point out, if you take any diverging or converging opposite line outside voice sequence and reverse it, it will most likely work. There are some things that just simply hit you all of a sudden. You just ask yourself the question, use it as problem solving. Take anything you're doing and says, what happens if I do X to Y? Like take the outside voices and switch the roles. A lot of students in the past have asked me, how do you develop problem solving? Well, you develop it by asking yourself questions like that and trying it, instead of relying on people to always give you answers. So there's a good homework assignment. Take any piece of music you're reading through and ask yourself a question about it, what you can do differently with that to make it something else.